Yeah.
You know, just like add $100,000 because you got to change everything then, you know.
I wonder if people actually think that. It seems plausible.
If we were going to get one of our friends or family involved with headphone listening, how would you go about doing it?
It's a fickle thing.
Is it?
I've sort of tried this before. I mean, I guess that's like the traditional thing that I say that, but it really wasn't that humorous.
Okay. I'm just losing it. I need more caffeine
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and burgers.
it is a trouble because traditionally you have somebody that knows you exist. They know that you're in the headphones, okay? But they're not in the headphones. And maybe at one point they kind of like, oh, so what even is the headphone thing that you do? And you kind of try to explain it to them. I found it's much more complicated than you think.
Yeah.
Right, you
don't
start
realize
bouncing
until
these
you
things off them.
realize, you know.
Right.
You start getting into it, about a sentence in,
Oh,
you're
actually,
like, oh,
and then you
man,
start talking for 3 days.
I need a little backstory on this one, you know.
I think probably the first thing to avoid is the price.
Well,
Like, let's not even go there till like
It's
you
a
know,
big problem. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's an instant bias setup where it's like, I don't even want to listen to this thing because I can't afford it anyway type situation. You know,
Or they think it's going to be the greatest thing ever and they're left disappointed.
that's true.
We had a video on that too, but
Yeah.
it is a trouble to talk about the numbers because you could start off, you could be pretty happy with a low end setup. A few $100s could be pretty great to a lot of people. Hell, even $50 to some people. But yeah, you start talking like thousands, tens of thousands.
Yeah.
That really limits your audience.
well, and it sets that bar so high
Right.
that it's like, probably can't reach it.
Yeah.
Expectation.
Well, yeah, that's true. And because they don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't even know
it's
what a
almost
high
like there's
bar is.
there's no reference for
That's
that
right.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just high.
I think it's actually sort of the reason
Right.
why we do these videos.
Too high.
Because a big part of the reason why we do these videos is simply to inform people of the things that people don't talk about, which there seems to be a whole lot of that. In audio, people just ignore things. They conveniently pass by stuff that is so obvious to them,
I think it's human
but it's
nature.
non-obvious to others. It probably
You
is.
think about all the things we do during the day that we don't talk about.
Sure.
But,
I mean, just think about. I mean,
What? Plenty of things.
we get together at a show setting with a bunch of other manufacturers, and the last thing we talk about is business.
No, it never
it's,
happens.
It's kind of funny when you
It's
think
funny,
about
yeah.
it, right? You think, oh, those guys are getting together, probably talking about, putting these little army people on the table and figuring out where they're all
one
going
of
to
those
be.
little
you know?
tables. Yeah.
Yeah.
the
At
little
least
thing.
I'm thinking
You know,
about
people
a
might think
Bugs
that.
Bunny cartoon from the past.
I wonder if people actually think that. It seems plausible.
But no, I mean, there's absolutely there's no.
We almost never talk
No.
about any business stuff.
Well,
headphones,
it is
industry.
literally the last thing you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
Yeah. But back to friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not like, the same thing with friends. You don't want to talk about business with friends. You want to show them what the possibilities are and let them draw conclusions. I think that's the best way to look at it.
Well, yeah. Showing them is usually the easiest way.
Yeah, let them listen, pop it
Yeah.
on their head, let them borrow it, let them have it for a week or two. I see that actually in HeadFi.
Yeah.
A lot of people
A lot of
share
people,
products.
really nice. They'll be like, you want to try? They want to get people involved,
Yeah.
So,
That's
pretty
probably
cool.
the best approach. Not always practical, but if you had to explain it to someone,
right.
I found
Yeah.
it's really quite difficult.
There's no good way to do
Right? You
that.
start talking about it, then you realize, oh, you don't know any of these things. You
Yeah.
start explaining these things, and you go, well,
Well, yeah,
actually,
it's a terminology problem. It's like,
it just keeps getting
It's
deeper
like,
and deeper.
how do I not use these words?
Yeah, you'd almost need you need more analogies to go with it. Like
Yeah, but then that starts to.
maybe talk about Boston cream pie or something like that. I mean, if you're into such a thing, or
Oh,
coconut
yeah.
cream, or how about banana cream pie? I like banana cream.
Okay.
But then they need to know about banana cream pies. Then, though.
Yeah, well, everyone had to have a cream pie at some point.
Well.
I don't know, maybe not.
Uh-huh.
Bad example.
Okay, not cream pies.
Yeah, no.
French fries.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where you're going.
You gotta
with
have
this.
fresh cut. I mean, that's the
Well.
way to roll. It's got to be made cut right there and then,
It does help.
and deep fried. None of that breading crap. We're not hiding the scars on the potato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's why they bread fries.
Mm.
To hide the bruises.
I suppose. I don't particularly care for breaded fries.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither. But anyway, back to friends.
Yes.
So yeah, I think you'd really almost need some sort of, which I never thought about what analogy to use, but some sort of analogy.
You could tell you never thought about it.
Yeah. We always
Well-
use cameras as a side, but not everyone has high-end
It depends
cameras.
on your hobbies.
Yeah.
And I think that's the easiest thing if you know
well, you
this
know
particular
this person, so
Yeah,
you,
right.
You know,
If you know
Golfing?
they're into something,
Golfing.
well, that again,
Golf clubs are expensive.
they are expensive.
You could drop thousands of dollars on a few clubs every year, and
Yeah.
never and still not have what you want.
everything's like that though.
Well, yeah.
And it's curious from the outside. A lot of people don't recognize how deep a lot of hobbies go, but almost every hobby's the same way. You could spend tens or hundreds of thousands on almost anything.
That's true.
Right. If you really want to go for it, you could spend $10,000 on a bicycle, no problem.
Yeah.
That's not even like necessarily obscene.
Yeah, you could go out and drop 50 grand, 60 grand in a brand new Jeep Wrangler, right?
You know,
And then drive it over to a modification shop and drop another 20 or 30.
You could spend way more
raise-
than
or
that.
new shocks, new tires, new rims, right? I mean, brand new off the freaking lot. And
Yep.
and still not really probably have it exactly the way you want it.
Well, the
because-
new thing, the hot ticket the kids are doing are putting Hellcat motors in Wranglers. You know,
Oof, yeah.
you know, just like add $100,000 because you got to change everything. Then you know,
Transmission, the rear
Yeah.
end, the front end. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's all.
the entire suspension. Pretty much, you have a brand new chassis, and you take everything off.
But I mean, when you think about it, high-end audio is kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's kind of like that. You're piecing together a system. It's not a truck, but it's a system. It's the same thing. You're doing it one piece at a time because there's no other way to do
well, I
it.
guess that's the real answer. Is you need to give them a good starting point. You know, because you built your system. If you're showing them your system that you built, it's for you, right?
Yeah.
This is all the things you wanted, but that might not be what they want, right?
Yeah, right.
So you need a solid foundation.
Agreed.
it's also built around your constraints,
Right.
which maybe you care less about a thing than they do, or maybe you have more or less financial resource to deploy than they do. So it is trouble to just say, oh, here's my system. Giving them a headphone, say, here, plug it in, mess around with it. It's probably a pretty decent start because then if they have no experience, they could at least get a little bit of a glimpse. But you can't really just give them your end game and have them typically be wowed. Usually there's a little bit of character to it.
Yeah, it's that throw you in the pool for the first time scenario. I think your best bet is to start basic, right? If you're going to give your friends something to listen to, which is probably the only way to really explain it to her, give them something that's something you started with if you still have it.
Yeah.
You know, more basic, something that's a couple steps above wherever he is, not too far above. And then basically you're spoon feeding him, right?
Well, then they
Or
can
her.
choose to take that path on their own
Yeah.
if they want to move on from there.
What? Yeah, let's
It's
call
like, here's how I started. $80, right?
Yeah, right. There you go.
That's a good
And this
start,
sparked my
typically.
interest.
Right.
Maybe it'll spark your
Yeah,
interest.
I think
Yeah.
that's the easy way to go. Something that you could just order on Amazon, and and say, hey, I like that. I'm going to try that. It's not breaking the bank, so to speak.
So you're saying don't explain it to your friend.
You're probably best not to start there. Yeah,
Okay.
Well, because you're probably on a different level, right?
but you could check up to them. You could check in with them from time to time and go, so
Yeah.
how's they doing?
Oh, how's
so
it
how's
going?
that new headphone going? Yeah. Oh wait, and
Oh,
then,
it's
then
like,
start
in
giving.
fact, yeah, it's like I already upgraded it. Oh,
Yeah. Or
Moving on
or you might a lot of people probably have things laying around that they don't use, like
that's true.
tiny small amps or things. Well, tell you what, try this now. You're spoon feeding them. Try this with your headphone that you've had for a few months to see what you think. And now then he either goes or they either go that way or not.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta it's baby step situation. I
You
think-
plant the seeds,
Yeah.
sprinkle a little water on them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and see what happens. You're either going to turn into a sunflower or you're going to wilt.
That's the only options.
Yeah. Totally
Okay.
depends on the environment.
Well, okay, sure.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like a plant. So there you go. We've narrowed
We've
it down.
explained it.
Yeah, now everyone tell us how that works out for you once you try it. Thumbs us up, everybody, if you like this, and take care of yourselves. Thanks.